Are you looking to set up your very first home studio for yourself or one of your loved ones, and you have about $1,500 that you can spend, and you don't know where to start, you don't know what to purchase, you don't know what gear makes sense, and you're kind of swimming on the internet with all these different options? If that sounds like you, stay tuned for this video, because I'm going to show you exactly my personal gear recommendations to set up an entire home studio so you can start creating music for only $1,500, so stick around. Okay friends, welcome back. This is our second video in this studio build installment series. A couple of weeks ago, we did a studio build for just $500. Link will be in the description box below. You can go check that out. And a lot of people responded to that video and says, but I got a little bit more money. What else can I get? How can I do some upgrades and add to my studio if I can spend up to $1,500? So that's what we're going to do in this video. I'm going to show you exactly gear that I have personally used. Okay, this is not a sponsored video by anybody. We're going to be looking at Sweetwater's website. However, I'll leave the links in the description box. Those are my affiliate links. Thanks so much in advance. You'll support what I do here. Now, let's get through the first part and say that this assumes you already have a computer that you're going to be using for your recording, and that you have some kind of a workspace, right? Have your own setup just for your home studio, because in this build, we're going to have a few more pieces of gear that we didn't have in the last build, which was more of a mobile rig. This one's going to be a little bit more of a permanent installation. Therefore, you want to have its own dedicated space. So you have a computer and you have a desk. If you need help on the computer, as far as you want to know, well, what kind of computer do I need? And I need to get a studio computer, Dave. Let me know in the comments below, and I'll create a specific video just for that. But as long as you have a computer that's less than, say, 5 or 7 years old, you're going to be just fine. Mac, PC, doesn't matter. So let's get that out of the way. Let's jump over here onto the Sweetwater website. Let's talk about what we need first, and let me get you built with your $1,500 studio. Hello, friend. I hope you're enjoying the video. Hey, I got a 90-minute mixing course that is perfect for beginners, and I want to give it to you right now absolutely free. Go to homerecordingmadeeasy.com. The link is in the description box below, and download it today. No fancy plugins, no expensive gear. I'll show you how to get fantastic sounding mixes using only the stock plugins that come with your DAW. Mac or PC, any DAW works. Don't wait. This will seriously jumpstart your mixing and get your skills to the next level. I'll see you inside the course. Now back to the video. So what are the first things we're going to need? The first thing we're going to need is we're going to need an audio interface, and we're going to need some kind of a DAW digital audio workstation. So I'm going to show you a couple of different options. Okay, you can refer back to the other 500 build video in the description box if you want these things. See this equipment in a little bit less expensive category. First one I'm going to recommend is the Universal Audio Volt 476p USB recording studio. Now this is more than just an audio interface. This particular audio interface has 4 different inputs, so you can record 4 things simultaneously. So let's say you had a guitar and singing vocals at the same time, or even a small drum kit. Say you had something with like a kick, a snare, and a pair of overheads. If you're recording live acoustic drums, you can do this all inside the Vault. It is USB-C powered, which is really cool. Okay, here's the front, and on the back side, we have also a pair of 1/4-inch outputs that can go to your studio monitors, which we're going to talk about in a second. And it also has 2 sets of line outputs, 4 line outputs, either 2 stereo pairs or 4 mono, that you can send audio out of your DAW to an external piece of gear for extra processing. Again, maybe not something that you'll do right away, but something that you can grow into in the future. Okay, so this has plenty of inputs, plenty of outputs. It also has MIDI on it, has all the controls that you need on the top for gain. It's also got a simple 1176 style compressor on it, which is great. This is a wonderful value for $499. And a lot of times you'll find on Sweetwater's website that you can get demos of the open box units even cheaper. But we're going to stick with the full price, assuming that we're going to spend up our $1,500. So here's $499, the Universal Audio Volt. Now, what is also great about this particular audio interface is that it comes with the second thing that we're going to need, all included in the $500, and that is our DAW. And the DAW that comes with this is Universal Audio Luna. And I've done videos on the channel about Universal Audio Luna. It comes with a free recording software, which is great for beginners. It's super easy to learn. It's not riddled with so many features, 90% of which you'll never use. It only gives you the core stuff that you need, which is great. It comes with a bundle of plugins already installed. Everything that you need for recording, has a couple of VST instruments for things like strings and orchestra sounds and those kinds of things. So it has a complete thing, comes absolutely free, included with this audio interface. So we have our audio interface and our DAW out of the way. This is a great solution for $500, and Universal Audio makes some of the best sounding premium plugins on the market. This isn't just some cheap throw-ins for free. This is high quality stuff. And I've been using Universal Audio products, hardware and software, for, close to 20 years, and I can vouch for them. This is a wonderful bundle. So that's one option for you. I'm gonna give you a second option, okay? The second option, if we need an audio interface, is we could take a look at the PreSonus line of interfaces. This is their Quantum ES4 USB-C audio interface. Now this is a little less money. This is only $359. And as I said a few minutes ago, you could get an open box from Sweetwater for $323.99. So you can always save some money by buying their demos and their open box units, come with a full warranty and all of that. But this has a lot of the same features that are on the Universal Audio one that we just looked at. So we have 4 sets of XLR inputs, just like on the Universal Audio. We only have 1 pair of main outputs, 1 for our speakers, line 1 and 2 are for our 2 studio monitors. 3 and 4, those again could be either 2 mono sources or 1 stereo source. The Universal Audio gives you 2 pairs. This only gives you 1 pair. Again, it's USB-C powered. It has MIDI in and out, and there's also an auxiliary here as well. What's nice about this unit, it's a desktop unit, much like the other one. It's got a lot of LED indicators and such, really easy to operate. It does not have the simple 1176 style compressor in there. But again, PreSonus makes really good stuff, and this is a little bit less expensive. You'll have to check current pricing depending on when you watch this video. PreSonus, a lot of times will also bundle Studio One Professional with their audio interface, and it looks like here you get a free perpetual license of Studio One Pro 7. Again, it's a $199 value. So you're getting a free piece of software, Studio One, and an audio interface for $359. A little bit less expensive than the Universal Audio stuff, but this is a limited time on the perpetual license, so you may want to check into that. PreSonus Studio One, amazing for beginners. Lots of online training available for you if you get stuck as a beginner. Good old Uncle Dave, I have 3 specific training courses for beginners for Studio One. This is something that Universal Audio Luna out in the internet world kind of lacks a little bit in the third-party training. PreSonus Studio One has a much larger user community. It's been around longer than Universal Audio Luna. The training resources from a beginner's perspective is a lot more plentiful. However, the Universal Audio stuff is super easy to learn, and you got good old Uncle Dave here if you need training on that as well. I just don't provide courses for that specifically, but I have a lot of YouTube videos that can help you. So either one of those is fine. So there's 2 options for you, a $359 option and a $499 option. And we're gonna stick, for the purposes of our video here, the $500 option up to $1,500. Next thing you're gonna need is a set of studio monitors. And again, I got 2 choices for you, both of which I've used that are fantastic. The first one is our IK Multimedia iLoud Micros. $500 for the pair. These are active monitors that are all self-powered. They're nice small desktop monitors, and don't let the size fool you. I have a pair of these on my other rig and they sound fantastic. It also comes built in the Arc Studio room correction software to make sure that you tune the room when you're doing your mixing so you get accurate mix translations. And we could talk about that later in another video. Just let you know that there's a couple extra features with this pair. $500. They're small, they're compact, they're super loud, they sound great. Now, a second pair that I've used that can also be really, really great for the same price. This is the Kali Audio LP6s, which has a 6.5-inch woofer, a little bit bigger speaker, going to take up a little bit more room on your desktop, but are a little bit more higher powered, a little bit louder. Just depends what you have room for. These are great as a secondary option. I wanted to, again, show you stuff that I personally use. These things sound fantastic for the money. But the one thing I will say about them, they are a little bit big and bulky. So if real estate on your desk is a concern for you, the IK Multimedia iLouds will probably be a better choice. From a sound quality perspective, they're going to be about equal. But if you want something with a little bit bigger subwoofer, a little bit bigger woofer, you get a little bit more bass response than the IK Multimedias, this could be a great choice as well. This does not have the room correction software that comes with it, but it does have a bunch of settings on the back of the speaker depending on how you're going to be setting the speakers up to optimize the sound, which is great. So there's two choices for you. So we got our interface, we got our recording software, we have our speakers. The next thing we're going to want to have, I think, for every studio is a set of headphones. And I said this in the last studio build, and I'm still going to recommend the same ones. The Sony MDR 7506s, these are closed back headphones, great for when you're tracking instruments. You don't want to be listening to the music over the speakers if you're recording an acoustic guitar with a microphone, or for vocals and you're singing, because you're going to hear the sound coming out of the speakers feed back into the microphone. You have to use headphones, and you want to use closed back headphones. This is a studio staple that has been around for as long as I can remember, and that's a long time. And so these are great headphones for the money. 108 bucks, can't go wrong. You want to have a pair of good quality, good tracking headphones in your studio. The next thing you're going to need is we're going to need a couple of microphones. So the first microphone I'm going to recommend, you want to have a large diaphragm condenser microphone, maybe for your studio. Here again, we're spending a little bit more money. So we want a good quality, affordable, large diaphragm condenser microphone. The Rode NT1 is great. And this particular package comes with the shock mount and the pop filter that screws right onto a mic stand, which we'll talk about in a minute. 160 bucks. You cannot go wrong. Great for everything. Acoustic guitars, vocals. You can even mic up an electric guitar cabinet, percussion. Anything you want to put this on, it's going to sound really great. It's good in your studio to have a dynamic microphone and a condenser microphone. We'll talk about the dynamic one in one moment. And because it comes with the pop filter and the shock mount, you can't beat this for the money. Next item you're going to want is maybe a dynamic microphone. We have a condenser microphone, which are good for vocals and acoustic instruments primarily. A dynamic microphone for things like electric guitar cabinets. Could be good for vocals as well. Could be good for piano, those kinds of things. The Shure SM57. Again, another one of those staples that have been in studios for 100 years. Every recording studio should have multiple SM57s. These are great for recording drums as well. If you had a drum kit, you wanted multiple of these, but for now, let's at least get one for our studio. Get 109 bucks, built like a tank. You'll never need another dynamic microphone again. You may just want multiples of these if you want to record multiple things at the same time. Next thing we're going to need, if we're going to get our Rode NT1 microphone, we're going to want a nice quality microphone stand. And here we are. So this microphone stand is a little bit more expensive than the one I recommended in the last video, the $500 build, because we were using a much cheaper microphone. But now that you're using a good quality condenser microphone, you want a good quality stand. Here's one by K&M, the 252 with a boom arm, $133. You can buy mic stands that are 40 bucks. I wouldn't recommend that you put a nice quality microphone on a $40 mic stand. They're not balanced properly. The construction is kind of crappy and it can tip over. And what you don't want to do is be putting your nice Rode NT1 on this boom arm and have it topple forward because the stand is not built heavy duty enough. You won't have the problem with the K&M 252. I've had 10 of these in my studios in the past. I've never had a problem. They lasted forever. They don't break down. The bushings and the parts for the height adjustment and everything, they're good quality. Can't beat it. 132 bucks. So if you were to add up our universal audio interface, the more expensive one, let's say the IK multimedia speakers and our headphones and our microphone and our stand, we are just shy around or just below the $1,500 mark. That's all you need to set up a $1,500 studio where you could be recording music, high quality, professional sounding for a lifetime. And what's great about this stuff, especially things like these interfaces with the recording software that comes included, we can build upon this in the future. So even if today you only need a couple of inputs, you don't need all 4 inputs. You can get an interface a little bit less money. But if you have the budget, the one thing I try to recommend to people is you want to try to maybe slightly over purchase what you think you need today for the future, because you'll see how quickly you'll outgrow some of this stuff as you get more into creating music. So if right now you say, I only need 1 or 2 inputs right now, if you can afford the money, if you have a $1,500 budget, get one that has 4 inputs. Because if you buy one with 2 inputs, then 6 months from now, a year from now, you need one that has 4 inputs. You're gonna have to sell one, buy another one, and you end up buying things twice, 3 times. And I've done that a million times where I bought the bare minimum, and within a year, I'm going out and buying and spending more money. And in the end, I end up spending more money than what I really needed to if I just would have over-purchased a little bit the first time around. And that's what I would recommend with something like the audio interface. Make sure that you get something a little bit more than what you need today for the future. So, and until the next video where we talk about more studio gear and setting up maybe the next level of home studio, maybe we go to $2,000. Let me know below in the comments if you'd like that. We'll do that video together. I've been Dave with HomeRecordingMadeEasy.com. Thank you so much for watching me, everybody. I'll see you guys in the next video.